of the flotilla made their sorties from here, so the area was a natural target for enemy bombers. On the south side, the deep waters of Lazzaretto Creek separated Manuel Island from the battlements of Valletta. Slima lay on the north side of the creek, from which it took its name. In peacetime, many a destroyer captain's reputation had been made or broken here, for skill in ship handling was needed when going astern up Slima Creek. "Where are you going, Jan? Aren't you coming back to base?" Peter Sinclair asked his friend. There had been tensions between them the whole afternoon, and Peter could not put his finger on the cause. Jan had been strangely silent, and now he had strolled past the entrance to the causeway and was heading for Slima. "Come on, Peter. There's plenty of time before supper, and I want you to meet a friend of mine who's in digs in Slima." Peter shrugged his shoulders. He quickened his pace to catch up with the commando, and together they approached the waterfront of Slima. The indigo water washed against the yellow sandstone wall, which ran in a gentle curve along the edge of the creek, and along this ran the road. Children were shouting and laughing in the sunlight as they scampered in the rubble, engrossed in their own make-believe. On a patch of bare earth ahead of them, a few goats scrabbled, and it was towards this end of the waterfront that Jan was walking. "What's his name, Jan?" "Lieutenant George Jefferson, U.S. Navy. Hank for short." "Good Lord!" Peter exploded. "What's a Yank doing in Malta? Bit hot for him, isn't it?" Jan Widdicombe raised his eyebrows and turned slowly towards Peter. "You'll have to judge. You see, I'm leaving in 2 days for the Burma front, and he's relieving me." For several paces there was no sound but the shuffle of their footsteps on the dusty road. Jan, his trusted friend of 2 previous cloak and dagger stunts, actually leaving Malta. It couldn't be possible. "You're pulling my leg." "I'm not, Peter. I've already had Jefferson understudying me on 2 trips, one to Lampedusa and a repeat performance to Pantelleria." "Is he any good?" "Yes, he's a good chap. He's living in that flat with the red door, just past those goats." "But Jan, be your age. How can he take your place here? The Yanks don't even know what war is yet." The line of houses which forms the northern extremity of Slima is built upon the rocks of the northern shore of Malta, and the Luftwaffe sometimes took advantage of the cover these dwellings afforded. So it was not surprising that on this sunlit evening the 2 lone Me-109s, which were flying low over the sea from Sicily, caught the defences of Malta unprepared. The fighters swooped up from behind the houses and hurtled over the crowded waterfront, their yellow-snouted engines snarling and spluttering. Peter and Jan recognized the emergency a split second later than the Maltese on the waterfront, who had already run for the shelter of the buildings or had hurled themselves to the ground. Fascinated, Peter watched the Messerschmitts turn tight on their tails over Slima Creek. They hovered motionless for a moment, and then the leader fell out of the air to point its hideous yellow snout directly at the Slima waterfront. "Down, Jan!" Peter yelled. The 2 friends hurled themselves towards the stone parapet and rolled over and over upon the road. Peter heard the familiar stutter of machine guns, and he covered his head with his hands. The fighters were tearing in from behind them, and from the corner of his left eye Peter watched the road ahead of him. Above the spitting of the fighters' guns, he was dimly aware of a curious fluttering. The soles of Jan's shoes formed the major part of Peter's view, but from where he lay he saw lines of bullets kicking up the dust as they threshed past to the left. Tiny dust clouds whirled upwards as the bullets walked by, and then the murderous fire got in amongst the goats. Peter held his breath. His stomach sickened as the leading 109 shuddered overhead. The machine pulled up sharply to clear the houses, and then, as Peter heard the second fighter swooping down upon them, he saw a white kid skip away from the stricken goats. It bleated pathetically for a moment as it searched in bewilderment for its dead mother. Then it started to wobble off jerkily down the road.